Hey guys, it is Kayla Waller with Waller Adventures, and today we are in Ocala, Florida, and we're on the way to do the world famous glass bottom boat tour. So stick around, check it out. Alright, y'all all do with me. Ha! And we're actually camping in Silver Springs State Park, which is where this glass bottom boat tour is. You don't have to camp to do the glass bottom boat tour. You can just do it separately if you want to. But we're in the campground right now, so we have to leave the campground to go to the recreational area. So we got to get back on the road for that. But yeah, and it is it's pouring down rain. There's a nice rainstorm come through. As you can tell, my hair is all curly because it's wet from the rain. So yeah, so we will be there in like a couple minutes. So we see you at the entrance. All right, here's the entrance. It says Florida Silver Springs. We gotta rush. We're running late because the rain about drowned out the tent. All right, so if you come to the building behind me, you get checked in there, and then we have to come down over here to get on the boat. But she said they're in like a lightning hold for like till 3:15, so we're good. Thank God. Whew. We can kind of slow down a little bit. But yeah, I can't wait. We're gonna learn some cool stuff on the boat. There's a lot. They got a gift shop, Discovery Center. They got a Springside Cafe, the bathrooms in a snack shop. What? That's pretty neat. Being like right there's where you meet for the boat tour. Yeah, so if you're camping here as well, you can come here and grab a snack and some coffee. If you do the boat tour, you can come over here and grab some snack and a coffee. Pretty neat, pretty neat. So here are all the boats. Check it out. Chief Potocac. Wow. They're all named after Native American chiefs. But the sign over here, it says, "Welcome to Glass Bottom Boats. Time of journey is 30 minutes. You will be within 15 minutes of emergency medical assistance. All vessels manned by Coast Guard licensed captains and equipped with two-way radio communication to Silver Springs radio base." Dang, that's some high-tech stuff. So over there, they got like a live feed of underwater, like what's going on underwater, like right here in the spring. That's pretty neat.
The Chief Charlie Cypress for the amazing Captain Reef. Please watch your step as you board. Anything marked in yellow will be a tripping hazard, but outside of that, enjoy.
Wow, you ready? Sure.
Solid copy, thank you, sir. Not sure if he'll still be there. He looks like he's heading in, but might get a chance at him. Welcome aboard, guys. Take your time, watch those steps.
A manatee.
Wow.
This is not the season for our manatees. Our season ended in March. We had a pretty good one. We had over 57 manatees here, parked with 3 cows going. However, we do have 5 here right now. 2 out of 5 are expecting calves here probably in the next month or so. So hopefully we're going to see a lot more than just her today. Alright, so she's heading towards the kayak trail. That last clear kayak, she's right behind that clear kayak. She's heading over there to the paddle trail. Let's see if I can't show her off before she disappears.
That's really cool. Oh yeah, a big fish down there.
Alright, looks like she's heading down the river now. You guys look towards the front of the boat, just fade to the left-hand side. You see one of those ripples coming up to the surface there? Those circles? That's what we call manatee footprints. These guys don't have feet, but when they're moving water, you can see that little trail right behind them there. So that allows you to find manatees, even if we have some, less than desirable water clarity. Now she is booking. I don't know if we're gonna catch up with her. Not allowed to chase or pursue these guys. She's just heading in the direction we're going right now. But when excited, these girls can go over 30 miles per hour. Oh, yeah. At over 2,000 pounds, that is a pretty big torpedo.
Yeah.
Now, as we work our way that way, you guys look beneath the glass. All that grass you're seeing, now this is eel grass. Now, recently found out this is more related to a tulip than the flower. And each one of our manatees here at the park, we eat about 200 pounds of that stuff every single day. Now, although these girls do get quite large, this one's actually a small one here in front of us. Our biggest one we have here now is 2,600 pounds. Her name is Annie. Now, she's pretty hard on this. She looks like a German U-boat going up and down the river here. This one is our size there. She's in the surface right there, right in front of the boat.
Oh, hello, bird. Hello, bird. Hi, birdie. Look, bird.
Now, unfortunately, I got to break off here, so maybe we'll catch up with her as we go a little further down the river. But guys, as I position my boat here, our first stop of the day, this one's called the Spring Stars. Now, it's dedicated to all the movies we had filmed here at the park. Our first movie was back in 1917, called The Seven Swans. Our most recent was in 2018, called Salvage. Now, in between those two movies, we had over 215 movies and TV shows filmed here at the park. Anybody here seen any original Tarzans with Johnny Weissmuller? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, wow.
What about the creature from the Black Lagoon?
No way.
Oh, yeah, all three.
Yeah,
So,
that was cool.
There we go. Yeah, that's my favorite one filmed here.
Oh my goodness.
But anybody here happen to see Jimmy Buffett's movie called Hoots? No. Everyone sleeps in that movie. It is a great movie, even better book. Grandma Larson, before she's Captain Marvel, saving the world. She's out here saving some ground hounds. But our spring here, it sits at 22 feet deep. We have a very safe environment for inexperienced camera crews and actors to operate in. Want that extra light cracking off the limestone, which makes it a lot deeper, more vast than it really is. Now, we don't get to be movies filmed here anymore. The wildlife, they're definitely the stars of our show. And if you look down there, you can see a few starting to swim around. Anybody here enjoy fishing? Alright, my kind of people. Now, when I'm not running these boats, I run 5 fishing charters in the east coast of Florida. And one thing the park rangers love to do is check my truck in the morning, make sure they bring my rods and reels to work. Feel very targeted working here. Now, I'm a saltwater guy, so these guys down here, they are all safe for me, except for one, and his days are numbered. Now, I'm not seeing him down there right now, but we're going to see a few hundred as we head down the river. They're called blue tilapia. Now, we are patiently waiting on the state to give us a green light to get in there and start harvesting these guys, and honestly, I am very excited. Now, normally, tilapia, that is not my favorite eating fish. However, the water count is nice, it is 99.98% pure. I bet all kinds of baked tilapia here are the tastiest tilapia on the planet. And with our restaurant now open, it is a very short distance from the tip of our spears to the bottom of our frying pans. So, for my locals on the boat, definitely keep your eyes open on social media. Our fish fries, they are coming. We're just waiting on a few dates. But this next spring from the view here, now this one's called Creature Springs. This is where all 3 of the Creature of the Black Lagoons are filmed. Now, for those of you guys that watched that series, this is the Creature's home. It's Dan in those movies. But for those of you guys that haven't, spoiler alert, the Creature, he had gills. So during production, nobody was allowed to use any kind of scuba equipment. They didn't want any bubbles making their way onto the set. And this means even the film crew here had to free dive. Now, the person that played that creature, he was a local. His name was Rico Browning. They said he got the job for 2 main reasons. Reason number 1, that a kid, he could actually fit inside the costume. That was a pretty big deal. That first costume, it was made by an actor in mind. But secondly, he was holding his breath for over 4.5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And in the 3rd movie, this guy was pushing it to 6. Now, that was great for Rico, because that guy in full costume would have to dive off the boat and swim 37 feet under that ledge there. Hide underneath it, ready for the director to call action, come out, film the scene, all on one record there. Very glad I have this job and that job.
True.
Now, Rico, on the other hand, that guy worked on 79 different movies and TV shows on the Silver, mostly as a rescue diver or a stunt double. And besides the Creature in the Black Lagoon, he's most known for writing and directing the TV series Flipper. Now, Flipper wasn't filmed here, but down in the Keys, Miami, the Bahamas. They said he has inspiration from the TV show Lassie. He said if those kids can have a dog and the Florida kids, well, they can have a dolphin. But we're going to do one of those detours I was talking to you guys about earlier. I'm going to take you to show a few springs on that don't get a lot of love anymore. So this one here in front of us, backed away to the corner, this one is called Snow Swim. Now, during our manatee season, this is a very popular spot for our manatees to hang out, tucked away into the corner. They're very protected. But it's one spring, 2 vents, and as we go over it, you're going to start to see what we call a snowstorm. Now we're going to see a lot of sand, shell, and crushed limestone swirling all around down there. Now this one has lost pressure recently, so it's not getting big show that we used to. But as it's going to boat around here, you can see all that stuff rolling around down there.
Oh, all the way here. The stones moving
There's a
around.
turtle. There's a turtle. Here he comes. See him? Where? Right there.
That's a bit, nice little soft shell there.
You see him?
Nope.
Right here.
It's kind of smack dab in the middle.
Yeah. Right here. There you go.
Was it swimming?
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Now we got 8
Oh, I-
different species of turtles here at the park. That guy right there is a soft shell. The ones you'll be seeing on a shoreline, those are called sliders. We got red, yellow, and orange ones. Now we do have snapping turtles here at the park. We have the common and the alligator. And if we're really lucky, once we get back to the boat dock, we might see my favorite turtle, which is called a loggerhead musk turtle. Now, our next spring is actually the newest spring here at the park. This one was created right after Hurricane Milton went over us last year. So we had a spring over here to the left-hand side that ended up collapsing 3 years ago. When it collapsed, it made 10 new springs in the area. Not as big, just the weaker spots in that limestone. That pressure was building up. But about a week after Milton rolled through here, this next spring popped up out of nowhere. So right now we're calling this one Platform Springs.
Look at that turtle. Yeah, look at that turtle. Big turtle right there.
And we think this next one's going to open up to about a 15 to 20 foot ledge here in the near future. We had 3 hurricanes last season. And so 2 of them were, one directly over the park. When that happens, we get our own storm surge here. It was ripping water out of our vents here. So you can see what used to be 1 vent, there's now 2 small vents down there. And there's a trail of these smaller ones. If you look closely from that big one there in the middle, you can see a row of tiny little volcanoes erupting going from the center to the left-hand side of the boat. It's going to go over here. It's about 15, 20 feet.
Oh, yeah,
And we think they're all connected. So once it happens, it's going to separate and open up to a big one, just like we saw at Preacher Springs.
There's a hole in the ground.
So we think from that main vent towards the front of the boat to this one coming into view here, they're going to connect here shortly.
Oh, yeah.
So as we work our way out of here, is anybody here into bird watching or birding? No? Well, I want to take you guys to Bird Island anyways. Don't worry, it's not much of a trip. This island here in front of us, that is Bird Island. And we actually had our last nest last weekend at the beginning. So if you guys get a chance to come out here in late spring, we actually got 500 different species of birds here at the park. Where we have northern migration, our southern migration, plus our locals here, all at the same time. We have 28 individual springs over here. Now, like I said, we have about 200 springs here at the park. Right now, we have about 8 and about 50 million gallons of water here every single day. That's quite a bit of water.
Okay, that's
Now, the ones we have in our next spot, we're looking at the smaller side. What we're looking for is going to be a large structure. It's going to be beneath the glass. It looks like it belongs to the backbone of an extremely large dinosaur. Let's see if I can get this out for a shot, shall we? Looking good. Getting warmer. So slowly from the view towards the front of the boat here. we had the University of Florida. These guys came out here, they ran all kinds of tests, and they tell me that this large structure here beneath the glass, well guys, those are rocks. Yeah, not gonna lie, pretty bummed out about that. Now the cool thing is what's laying next to these rocks. So you guys start to see that wooden plank there laying next to the rocks? Now that wooden plank, that is actually a 20-foot ceremonial dugout canoe used by our American tribe. Now UF, they did carbon dated for us. They say it's about 500 to 600 years old. And they really want to place this inside the museum on campus. Now in order to do so, you have to take this canoe out, soak it, polyurethane for about a month. After that, you got to place it in an airtight glass case. Or we can just leave it here. It's going to look that good for another 500 to 600 years. Because the tree the natives would use for the canoes is called cypress. Inside that wood, you're going to find a chemical compound which makes it impervious to rot as well as insects. And these trees, on average, they can live about 1,300 years of age. Now, the oldest one we have here at the park is only 890 years old. Now, the oldest one I know that's still alive is 8,500 years old, and that one's in Virginia. Now, the oldest one I know of is actually down near Biscayne Bay by Miami. They counted the rings, they carbon dated a core. They expect this tree was from 200 BC. Now, just so we're all on the same page here, guys, BC, that is for before Christ, not before COVID. Yeah, I'll regret to inform that the further we go down the road, the worse these guys are. But did everyone get a good look at the canoe down there? Anybody here not see the canoe? Awesome. So next we're going to do the first Manatee called
Oh, the flag is the picture.
Now, this is the only place in the world where you have 2 or more in the same spring run. Now, as we consider your first Manatee, you'll be pumping over 65 million gallons of water out every single day. Our next spring, she's actually pumping more than 85 million. Now, all this water, this comes out of the Florida Aquifer, and it travels throughout the state of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, as well as parts of Alabama. They say it takes about 20 years or so for the rain to reach the soil in the Carolinas to come out of these beds here today. Now, our local rainfall does help. 8% will manage its way into that aquifer. The rest of that rainwater, that's going to dictate the water levels here at the park. Now, as it's been around the spring here, I want you guys to look down there between the rocks. You're going to see some areas where you see that sand, shell, and fresh limestone spilling around. Now, I used to make a joke here and say that's the closest we get to a snowstorm here in the Sunshine State. But boy, was I wrong. Over 10 inches of snow in the Panhandle this year. That was not part of my 2025 bingo card. Now, unfortunately, the one thing that we are used to here at the park is going to be our hurricanes. We had 3 of them here last season, and our water levels, they rose to over 7 feet higher than normal. Now, we are not complaining. We were very grateful for that water while we had it. We are in desperate need of it right now. Currently, we lose about 50 million gallons of water a day here. Now, the reason why we are losing so much water is we got roughly 3,600 people moving to the state of Florida every single week. On top of that, we lose about 120 acres due to new development every single day. More people tap into this aquifer for well water or irrigation, that is where that water disappears to. Now, looking around the boat, it might not look like much. We got a very healthy shoreline. But if you look towards the front of the boat, all these trees here, you can see those high water marks. That's where it should be. Now, right now, it's not bad. It's only 2 feet shy of normal. However, on Memorial Day weekend, it's 4 feet shy of normal. We almost had to suspend our boat operations here at the park. It wasn't too shallow to run these boats. However, the rain speeds get on and off, they were no longer reaching the deck. Now, it's come up quite a bit in the last few months, and that's because we are in the rainy season, as you guys can tell. We have quite a bit of it today. And it's helping us out. Now, unfortunately, we're not getting enough of it. We will need help this season to get us to where we need to be. And unfortunately, help here, that does come from the hurricanes. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I am over hurricanes at this point in time in my life. So, what's that? You got something over there? Another one?
I'll mark it for you, okay?
Appreciate you. Yeah, we saw him. You got a little swamp puppy there on your left. It's got like a little 9-foot gator on the left-hand side of that paddleboard there. Highlight his shirt. You can see the head right next to him.
You see his head popping up, yeah. He was out here earlier.
Yeah, so he's got a manatee there. It looks like in between us and him on the flat. You got a manatee and a gator right next to each other.
Oh, I see. So dude, it's sitting in the middle.
And if you look behind the kayak, you can see the gator still there, smack dab between the grass mats.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Between these two boats, between these two
No, it's a Manatee.
So if he's where I think he is, as around the corner, he's going to be on the right-hand side on the shoreline here. Between those two trees, you're going to see an area in between them where all the vegetation is matted down. It's got a nice little mudslide there. Let me know if you guys start to see him. Alright, now let's see him over there. So you guys look directly in front of the boat, just to the left of the doors, that area where you see it all matted down there, that's where he likes to hang out. You see something there to the left? Other side's looking for it.
Spinning around.
Right over here, the dark gray. He's under the thing. He's under that big tree there.
Those you guys on the right-hand side, there, your 2 o'clock. Underneath that little line branch there. See him on that
Yeah,
down
down
tree.
there you can see him.
It's got a nice little spot. I'm more jealous, not gonna lie. I'll be smiling as we back up the boat in this direction. We kind of get a better look at his head there.
Yeah, here he is. Thinks he's head.
Yeah, we haven't got much done today, so these guys are gonna be pretty lazy for the most part. So come up the right-hand side there, that dock in front of you. Now that is the original dock of Sea Hunt. Had over 150 episodes filmed here at the park. For those of you guys that nod your head about Smokey the Bandit, that is when the boat chase scene goes right through and squashes everybody in the dock. Now the chase boat that ends up taking that turn too hard, they won't get ejected. Those were our mechanics here at the park, so we actually had our own cameo inside that movie. Pretty cool. Now as we pass this spot, look to the far right, you're going to see another spring tucked away back there. You're going to see there's a couple down trees on top of it. Now that is where Tom Cruise ends up jumping off a cliff into the water chasing down a ring. Now, I am very new here to the park. I have found the water he jumps into.
Legend was filmed?
Yeah, both here and the next spring.
Okay, this
directly in front
is
of the boat
became
again.
number 1 for me.
Those of you guys up front, maybe 25 feet, we're directly in front of you.
No, it's Manatee.
Another Manatee. We'll kill my motor here and see how close we can. She's down there, looks like just eating away. Like I said, she's gonna eat about 2 quick pounds of that grass every single day.
Yeah, look at that big one right here.
Nah, I'm not gonna put them underneath the glass. Those of you guys on the right hand side, front behind the vehicle is 3 o'clock. There she is.
She is.
She's got the surface here.
That's a
It's like,
Manatee. Oh my god.
there she goes.
Is that an eel?
No, a Manatee.
An eel?
Oh no.
A Manatee. Manatee.
Oh.
So we do have things in the water that look like eels. One of them's called a 3-toed salamander.
Yeah, that looks like an
Super
eel.
cool looking. If you
Yeah.
Google that dude, it's pretty gnarly. And then we do have a lamp right here. This next area, this was also used for movie legends. Well, this one is called Cypress Springs. Now, this one's my favorite. It's actually 15 separate springs. They're very small. They're going to be scattered throughout the grasses here. And as we go over this giant cypress tree that has fallen down, underneath that cypress tree, you're going to see the original glass bottom boat from 1860. Now, we found this boat on accident at the far side of the park. We were doing some dredging, and we found both the original boats. Now, these are old rowboats. We had 2 teenagers out here. They removed a few pieces of wood. They had a small piece of glass. And these guys were charging a nickel. We rode up and down the river here. So as you guys can tell, inflation, it has come quite a long ways. But those 2 kids, they started all here. Now, in 1872, this place became a park. 1878, it's been settled, starting to way onto the water here. And then in 2012, the state purchased this property, turning this into a state park. So right now, we are the oldest and youngest state park here in Florida. Now, as I spin the boat around here, look more towards the middle of the boat, you can see the old viewport they had there. Not very big. Another slider. Did everyone get a good look at the boat down there?
Yeah.
All right. So we got super excited. We actually thought that this was one of the boats that the conquistadors used in the early 1500s when they settled this area. But they ended up finding a few bracket mounts down there. And so when they carbonated that, they put it to 1860 and not 1500. So it's just a few hundred years off, not much. Now, our next stop is going to be our Twin Oaks Mansion. This was our music hall back in the day. We had everyone from Jimi Hendrix, Willie Nelson, Kenny Loggins, The Styx, The Beach Boys, Travis Tritt, even Jeff Fox, but he was out there doing comedy shows. Now, we had our first concert in about 15 years last February. It went very well. So we got the green light from the state to start hosting again. We were very excited. But our goal is sometime here, probably late winter, we're going to start hosting a movie night out here. We're going to start with 200 movies coming to the park. So hopefully we'll have James Bond night, Creature of the Black Lagoon night, and all y'all come back out and watch food since none of y'all seen food. Should be a lot of fun. But slowly coming to view here on the right hand side, if you look through these trees across the field, you're going to get a glimpse of that Twin Oaks Mansion. Now, if you guys want a better look at that mansion, there's a trail that takes from the boat dock to the sea hunt down. It's about 3/4 of the route to take you in around that mansion. Got another gator here on the right hand side. Go up on the 3 o'clock here, that grass mat just before you get to those taller lily pads in there. You can see his head sticking out. This is another small guy right here. Now the easiest way to tell the length of these guys, if you were to guess in inches from the center of the eyes to the tip of the nose, every inch will add up to about a foot in our gators here. So that guy right there is probably about 6 to 7 inches from the eyes to the nose, probably about 6 to 7 feet in length. Now if they're under 10 feet in length, we can also use that to tell their age. Looks like we got a big bird going in the water. This one might go underneath the boat here in a second. So there he is under the boat. He just started. Cormorant. Now those guys are pretty cool. You might see them on social media. Very popular on TikTok for wearing bow ties, going out catching fish and bringing them back to the fishermen. Incredibly smart. Dude, they're 120 feet deep catch their prey. Now those of you guys on the left hand side of it, I'm going to spin the boat around so y'all can get a good look at the gator too. This one's a little easier to see than the one we saw underneath that tree earlier. But he is directly in front of the boat there. You guys look up at the 2 trees. You'll notice that most of the trees here, they got this gray material hanging out the branches. Anybody know what that's called?
Spanish moss.
Yeah, Spanish moss. Now, a few fun facts about Spanish moss is one, well, it is not Spanish. No, it's not even a little bit. And secondly, I'm sure you already guessed it, it is not even moss. It is actually an air plant, and its closest relative is a pineapple.
Wow.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. Does anybody here have a pineapple plant at home? No? They say if you take the Spanish moss, you stuff it, you're not going to lose your pineapple plant. It's going to change the hormones of that plant, make it produce fruit more frequently. As long as you keep that the moss moist, you're good to go. Anybody here drive a Ford? You raise your hand, I'm not going to make fun of you guys. There you go. Now, Mr. Ford, he fell in love with Spanish moss, and he used that stuff to stuff the seats of his Model T Ford.
Oh, wow.
Now, for those of you who have had the pleasure of playing with Spanish moss, you are going to find a small bug that's inside there called red bugs or chiggers. Oh yeah, got a mean and nasty little bite, so we get itching for about a week or so. Now those bugs, they made their way into the seat cushions, and they started the very first automotive recall in U.S. history for those bugs in those seats. Now, GM, they had a field day of the situation. They called it the new Ford Itch. And they've done this slogan all the way into the early 50s. Now, I think we got another gator coming on the left-hand side. It's probably the best view of the day for a gator. This grass mat come up on the 10 o'clock right here. Towards the tip, you can see you got a little gator hanging out there. That's grass on the right-hand side. You start looking behind you there. We had a swamp puppy off my bow. Just let him back out. We got a swamp puppy here coming up on my starboard side.
Copy that, thank you.
We're going to squeeze by our 6-year-old here in front of us. Now that boat that is captained by Captain Andrew. He is our second best captain here at the park. You're looking at him.
Looking at him.
But come up the right-hand side towards 2 o'clock, you're going to see the statue starting to come into view here. That is Chief Osceola. Now, he was a local native, served as a transit between the Seminoles and the federal government after the First Civil War. Now, the feds, they came with this peace treaty, saying they wanted peace, they were stopping their expansion west, and they were open to trade. However, when translated, it's quite the opposite. They said a native here would forfeit all rights to the land, and agreed to hike this trail from here all the way to Oklahoma, with the rest of the days on reservation. Now, obviously, the chief was very upset. He sent Osceola out with a very clear message. Look over here to the right, you guys can see what he did. Now, he returned the treaty, he laid it out, he pulled out his knife, and he stabbed that treaty, therefore killing the contract. Now, to this day, our Seminoles here, they have not signed any treaties or contracts with the federal government. Legally, these guys are still at war today. That's why they have the nickname here, the Unconquered. Well, unless they're playing Georgia on Saturday, that'd be a different story. Or pretty much any other team last season. It was a rough season to watch. Do we have any fourth? But guys, our final spring of the day, this one's called Manatee. Now, she is our head spring. She produces 2/3 of the water flow here. Now, she sits at 55 feet deep. She is 65 feet wide. And every day, she's pumping out about 550 million gallons of water. Guys, that is enough water to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool once every 45 seconds.
Wow.
Now, all the springs combined here, we have just shy of 200. They produce 850 million gallons of water a day. And it takes about 6 days for the water to leave here and enter the Atlantic Ocean. Now, from here, this water, it travels down the Silver River to the Ocklawaha. It's going to travel up the Ocklawaha to the St. Johns River. From there, it's going to continue traveling north to Jacksonville, out into the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the St. Johns and the Ocklawaha are one of the few rivers in the world that run south to north. Does anybody here know why that is? It's because Georgia sucks. Oh yeah, shots fired. Now, if anybody here happens to be from Georgia, that joke is not directed at you. It is definitely against them Bulldogs. Take it with a grain of salt. This coming from an Knowles fan, and we didn't run really much of anything last season. Now, if you guys find yourself on Jeopardy anytime soon, the reason this water runs north is actually only due to about 33 feet of elevation. That's all it takes to push this water north of here.
Wow.
Now, this is the deepest part of the river at 55 feet deep. We had a deeper spring deep this than I was telling you about earlier, but she collapsed about 3 years ago. Now, as we back away out of here, if you guys look down there towards the main vent, that cave, it might look familiar to one or two of you. Now, this cave was once used to hide a nuclear torpedo. Oh yeah. You guys can see it? It was a very big deal back in the day. We actually had to send Sean Connery down there to go fish out for us. Yeah, James Bond, Thunderball. We also had Moonraker and Never Say
This
Never
was
filmed
above
here at
the
the
top
park.
5.
Did anybody here watch Moonraker? No? So it's not the best James Bond film, but it's still pretty good. You can definitely watch the trailer on YouTube. But there's a big fight scene between a green anaconda and James. And that anaconda comes out of the bushes here on the left-hand side. Now, unfortunately, she is no longer with us. But she was a very real anaconda. She did live here, and she was part of the Ross Island reptile exhibit we used to have here. We had all kinds of exotic reptiles. We had alligator wrestling. And we were one of the first started. Well, it was part of a reptile facility we had here at the park. Now, we were one of the first ones to start using anti-venom for our milking venomous snakes for anti-venom. During World War II, about 80% of the anti-venom going to the Pacific Theater came from Silver Springs and the surrounding areas here in Ocala. Now, the University of Florida, those guys, they did try to help us out, but those guys did not want to touch any of the snakes. So what they would do is they would do a blood sample on all of our new hires, occasionally wait for these new guys to become bitten by one of our venomous snakes, and come back out and do another blood test on them. It's the second job here at the park. I'm glad I hear that now. But guys, our final stop today, we got 3 statues for you. These statues, they're beneath the glass, and they represent Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. If you guys have a phone or a camera, I do recommend getting out and trying to get a photo with these guys. We have a few changes that are coming to the park, and it's going to be a fun right then. Now, early in the tour, I mentioned our restaurant. And for the adults here, if you guys make your way inside the restaurant, you will notice that we have a full bar. Now, we are working with the state and bringing in some breweries and distilleries to the park and doing some booze cruises here in the near future. Now, if that happens, these guys down here, unfortunately, their days will become numbered. They will no longer be Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. They will turn into Jack, Jim, and Jose. Absolutely. But it's going to be a big fundraiser for next season. Well, these guys were originally dropped down in 1969 for the I Spy series starring Bill Cosby and Robert Culp. Now, we used to have 12 different statues down there making the Lost City of Atlantis. We got to keep these 3. They're also using Moonraker as well as Never Say Never James Bond. Now, they are 7 feet tall. They're in 38 feet of water. So if anybody here would like to jump off the boat and get a selfie with one of them, now is your chance to do so. Now, just note, our park rangers actually do not share the same sense of humor. Oh yeah, not even a little bit. But if you do want to try to get a selfie without getting wet, you can find 2 of them in the hallway between the snack shack and the ballroom. If you go to our Discovery Center today, we have one of the original costumes, the creature of the Black Lagoon. Now today we actually have a very special guest in that Discovery Center. We have Captain Oscar Collins. He's been running these boats for over 56 years. He just hung up the keys last Christmas. That guy was my 2nd grade field trip captain when I was little. So if you guys are looking to learn more about the park, that's definitely the man you want to speak to. He's probably forgotten more about this park than I will ever retain. But before we move on, everyone get a good look at the statues?
Yeah. But what do they mean again, girl?
Or what'd you think of the glass boat tour?
That's the best thing we've done yet.
It was really, really cool. Learned a lot. I didn't realize that many movies were filmed here. I knew the Creature from the Black Lagoon was filmed here. I didn't realize that a whole bunch of other stuff was filmed here. But yeah, that's really cool. Alright guys, that was a lot of fun. In the description below I'll put a link to the website, so if you want to come out here and check out the world famous glass bottom boat tour. It's worth it. It was really neat. Learned a lot and saw a lot. Alright guys, so if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you ever greatly appreciate it. If you're not, hit that subscribe button. It will help our channel grow. We're also on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And below this video you can see some of our Wild Adventures merch. If you go to the description below, you can go to the merch shop itself and get some cool merch like hats and thermoses and t-shirts and things like that. Go to Facebook, you can send us a message, get your very own Wild Adventures koozie or holographic sticker. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Hey guys, it's me again. If you want to subscribe to your channel, click over here. If you want to check out some more videos, click down there. If you want to check out our cool merch shop, go to the description below and click the link. Thanks for watching. See you on the next video.